Hello! This week I'm going to make hot cross buns. I usually do the River Cottage recipe, which is really good, but I fancied changing up a bit this year. And sorry if you can hear my washing machine going in the background, ever the professional. But this year I'm going to do, so the dough is just a normal enriched sweet dough, and I'm basing that on something called like a Lucia Bun, it's a Norwegian bun you have in December, which is really nice. So I'm basically doing that, but just mixing up the spices and not adding the saffron. So we'll see how it goes. But first up, I'm going to warm up some whole milk. So the milk has been kind of warmed up. It's not boiling, but it is warm. So then we add some butter. Kind of looks like a bit like cheese, doesn't it? Nicest. And then give it a stir together, and that should melt down, and then we can just leave that until it's nice and lukewarm. And now we're going to mix together the dry ingredients, which is strong white bread flour and some caster sugar, some salt, and yeast, cinnamon, and mixed spice, and some cardamom. I'm not emptying the whole pot, it's almost finished. So then I'm just going to use the dough hook to kind of mix it together a bit. It won't be like a perfect mix, but it'll be something. Then we're adding the kind of cooled down milk and butter mixture. Oh, and the egg. I do without all the shell. Make sure it's not in the shell. Good. And then give that an initial quick mix before we add the dried fruit. So that's had just a minute or so kind of mixing. See, it's not really mixed, it's all very shaggy. But I'm going to add some raisins. I was aiming for 100, but 84 will do, as that's all I've got. And also some orange zest. And then we let that mix in the mixer for about 10 minutes or so. So it's had about 10 minutes in the mixer. You can see it's still kind of a very sticky dough, but it should be alright. So I'm going to let it rest now until it's doubled, pretty much. That could be an hour, it could be 3 hours. So I'm just going to cover it and let it rest, and we'll shape them. So the dough has doubled, and then I'm going to shape it into 12 little dough balls. So I'm actually weighing each piece out so they're all the same, and then just shaping them into a round on a lightly floured surface, and kind of going around, turning, tucking, then flipping it over and kind of cupping it with my hand, and then put it onto like a lined baking tray. And then do that with the rest of the dough until you have 12 little buns. Now it's time for the second proof, so I will cover these with cling film, and you can either let them rise until they've kind of puffed up and almost doubled again. I'm actually going to put mine in the fridge overnight, so I can have freshly baked buns in the morning. Good morning. These have been resting in the fridge overnight, and so it's some oiled cling film so they didn't stick. You can see they've kind of almost doubled in size. They should, yeah, it kind of bounces back a little bit. I don't know if that's visual thinking. Well, they've doubled at least. So we need to just pipe the crosses. So I'll just put this to one side. So put some flour and just some water. and then give that a whisk. And we'll put it into a piping bag. Well, not a piping bag, I'm just using a IKEA reusable little food bag. I have to admit, I'm no great shakes at piping. Some years I do these and this feels too thin and it goes everywhere, and other times it's all kind of thick, so it's an adventure. We'll see how it goes. Look at that. Right, let's cut that off and give it a go. Okay. And then they go into the oven, which is on at 180 for around 15 minutes. While the buns are in the oven, I'm going to do a quick sugar glaze syrup. It's just equal parts sugar to water, and then kind of boil it until it's syrupy, and then that will be brushed on the buns once they come out of the oven. You can also warm up apricot jam. Sometimes I've used marmalade just to give a little shiny sticky sweetness to the top. The buns are fresh out of the oven, and I'm just adding the sugar syrup or the sugar glaze while both the syrup is still warm and the bun's still warm, so it can kind of set together when they cool. So the buns have fully cooled, and I'm going to have a little taste. Traditionally you'd have it with butter, or you can even toast them, but as these are quite rich already, I find them quite good as they are, which is kind of a bit shocking. But you can see it's a really nice even bake, kind of fluffy, but yet also it's got that richness from the butter and the spices, and they are delicious. So good. I hope you enjoyed this week, and hopefully I'll see you next time.